Join hands with Scotty G, Monday, noon to 3. They're at John Watson Chevrolet, 3535 Wall Avenue in Ogden. Question up on our Facebook page, who deserves the choke sign in your world? You've got a collage of historic Indiana basketball stars given the choke sign. There's one from Reggie Miller. That's got to be 30 years or 30-plus years old now. And then Tyrese Halliburton.
Both in the Garden, I might add.
In the Garden, looking at Reggie. And then Caitlin Clark sitting courtside, smiling. Must be looking at Tyrese. Well, maybe Reggie. Who knows? One of them. And giving the choke sign.
She plays for the Fever. I heard ratings down 50% in the games that she's been out. Kind of settles that controversy.
People want to watch her.
She's a feisty player and a great player. No doubt about it. So cool, man. I saw her as a sophomore. I thought, wow, this lady is sensational. And now she's blown up massively. And she was messing around. She went to the game, obviously game 3 there, and gave the choke sign. And I'm sure you can go individuals, but I think it extends beyond. I got a big-time choke.
What would that be?
That led to drastic overhauls that did not need to be.
Drastic.
And you could say for some
who blew it and broke everything up,
that it, at least so far, has ended up better. But that doesn't take away from it didn't need to be. And you'll agree 100%.
Okay.
You will. There's no doubt in my mind. And you will too, Yuck. You'll both say, yep, I agree. That was a choke. We don't think of it as, but I think it fits under the category of you people, you guys, you choked. You could have done way better. This did not need to happen. And I'm talking about sports.
Pro sports. Not a college breakup?
It is college.
Oh, it's the Pac-12.
You guys agree?
There it
yeah.
is.
Yeah,
that did not need to happen.
Yeah,
Right.
George,
Didn't need to happen.
George
that-
Kliavkoff fumbled the bag big time.
And Larry Scott before him.
Yeah. Or he was told
Or
to
the
fumble it.
presidents.
Well,
Yeah, I got to lean more to the presidents.
That's
They
fine.
hired the
Well, no.
commissioner.
Well, yeah, it's
but it
a
was
good point.
nonetheless. It didn't have to happen. The offer was there from ESPN. Don't start thinking you're worth $50 million
Right.
because you're not.
no, they could have. They
And
could
if
have
you
put the.
sign the deal, then
Yeah.
the league's still there.
Yeah,
They could have put the Big 12 where they're
Yeah.
at.
Right.
Essentially.
that was a massive, colossal choke. You guys had it,
Yep.
and you choked it away, and it did not need to happen.
Absolutely did not need to happen.
You told
It's
the
so funny. I
networks-
saw it, and people, everybody's still into this now because the baseball, they've gotten the 64-team tournaments down to 8 who go to Omaha for the College World Series. And I'm reading the summary, and they're talking about how last year was 4 ACC and 4 SEC, and it was dominated. And this year, it's multiple
All over the
leagues,
place, yeah.
right? There's one league that's got 2 teams in.
Murray
and,
State.
and then at the end, Coastal Carolina is in, right? So.
Yeah.
So some of the quote-unquote little guys, you don't have to be the football power to be in. You don't have to be in a power league.
Right.
And they said the 2, and then the person writing the story is like, well, actually, there's one league that has 3 teams in. It's the Pac-12, who ironically hadn't put 3 teams in the College World Series and whatever. They had the number, whatever it was. It was sometime 30 years ago, something like that. 98 maybe, which would be not quite 30 years. And that was amazing. There's people are still tracking it. Well, here's what the Pac-12 did.
Yeah. That's as big a choke in our generation.
Yeah, it really dwarfs any one game, right?
Yeah.
Because it's going to impact everything we don't know how long, but certainly for 5 years. Maybe something would have come along in the next TV deal and blown it up. Just
maybe
a
so.
massive reorganization. But it didn't have to happen right now.
No. I mean, they easily, the LA schools were going to go. See you later. Goodbye.
But the other 10 could have had their deal and still been playing.
Easily.
Yeah.
Yes.
Instead of being
Yes.
spread out.
Right. And the majority of the integrity of the conference could have been maintained. I mean, and if you wanted to, San Diego State and SMU. Come on in.
Yep.
Boom. Settled. We're done.
Well, they could have taken schools from the Big 12.
They could have, but you got the California presence, Southern Cal, close enough, and SMU throwing around money like it's going out of style, and that gives you the Dallas market. Even I realize you had it with TCU, but it gives you a stronger stronghold in that area. I mean, you're always going to be fighting Texas and the Cowboys, in that
It's just
state.
the way it is.
Yeah,
But at least you have a foothold.
yeah,
And you have a foothold that has a ton of money and is interested in
Right.
spending it.
right.
Yeah.
What a freaking no-brainer!
And yet,
Yes. I would have taken Long Beach, start a football program if you want it closer.
Hey, dirtbags, we need some help here.
Yeah. Right? You're pretty good in volleyball and got some other sports going for you.
Yeah.
Start a football program. Go play at, there's a community little football stadium they got there that the city owns, that some of the LA schools that used to play high schools in big games. And we could have gone on. And it's not like, oh, well, Oregon and Washington, they went for the money. They ain't getting the money.
no, they went just to go.
Yeah.
We'll take less.
Right.
Give us a half share.
We'll
We'll
take a
figure it
half
out
share.
later.
Yeah. And that half share, that's the same thing. And then you don't have all these people flying all over the place.
Well, then Cal and Stanford joined the ACC.
And then, and Cal and the
Yeah,
ACC.
that really-
And that's a place, those two institutions, they're always fighting an uphill battle for attention. Well, at least you had Oregon coming to town. You had SC coming down. And now you got
Oh, yeah.
who's in the, you got Pittsburgh coming to town? That's going to do it for you?
No, Cal and UCLA had a good thing going. USC and Stanford had a good thing going. And now suddenly you got Pitt and Vatek coming to town, and it doesn't make any sense. BC's going to be here. Yawn.
Right.
You know?
Hey,
Right.
Wake Forest,
And
baby.
you got to go there.
You got the 49ers sitting right there just gobbling up all the oxygen in the room, and now you got to market the Syracuse game.
Yeah.
Doesn't resonate at all.
Right. I mean, I get why they did it. It was desperation time, but it just didn't have to happen. So for me, that's one of the biggest chokes that I have seen in a good while.
Don't tell the networks we're worth $50 million when the networks are like, no.
Not even close.
Yeah. Now, you can argue for BYU, this is awesome.
Oh, sure.
And to have Utah in there, and then you beat them the first year, and then it goes down as a legendary thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so you wanted them. You wanted the collapse of the Pac-12 on multiple levels. And I know BYU and Utah, they're fans. Get them out of there. Utah's not grateful. We don't want to be in BYU's conference. But yet, did you ever see their athletic director walk out on the field during a play against Oregon State?
Anybody else? Literally, whoever you said next, the answer is no.
Yeah.
It's happened one time.
Right. And in the post game, Kyle smacking a chair. Did that ever happen against Cal? Arizona? What am I missing here?
I can remember a painful loss against Cal, and there's a lot of frustration, but it wasn't anything like that.
No.
The running back running the wrong way at the goal line or at the 1 yard line right at the end of the game, ready to win it.
I was
So
at
you
the
would
goal
think
line at that
time. Right. And you
Yeah.
would think if anything was going to prompt that kind of response, it'd be that.
Yeah.
And it didn't prompt that. I mean, there's frustration,
Oh, yeah. And
but
Kyle,
not to that level.
I heard Kyle say, blah, blah, we'll take a timeout, blah, 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 blah. I mean, he was like 10 yards away. I could hear him because I could see his face. And then they call a timeout right there. I didn't hear what the referee thought he heard or what he said because his back was to me. But I was on the sideline then, and I heard Kyle give the instruction of when he wanted the time. The referee mangled the
Mangled it.
timeout
Yeah.
on when, so they called it. He didn't want the timeout then. Blah blah blah. But yeah, there was not near the frustration, and that This is a rivalry for the ages, people. And I've been on the outside looking in. I'm on the inside looking in now, but I've been on the outside. I worked in two other markets in sports that had, in Arizona and Los Angeles, that had those rivals. And this puppy is right there. And so you could say there's some argument. And I had, what was it, that year? Well, it all came together real quick. Did they have? They they played a year knowing they were going to go into conference. I know BYU had 2, but the Colorado and the two schools in state, they had a year knowing they were going, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yes, they had the full season.
So it would have been, they're still members of the Pac-12. I had someone from Arizona State that I've known for a good long time tell me, this is going to be awesome for us. And this is when they sucked, right? They're going through the literal worst stretch ever in the history of the program. And he said that we have a real good chance to take off in football in this conference, unlike any time we did in the 5 years in the Pac-10/12.
Because in the Pac-10/12, they saw USC and Oregon as major roadblocks, and there was nobody
and
with
Washington.
And there's nobody with that powerful a brand,
Right.
and that decades-long success,
Yeah.
and all that cash standing in their way.
Right.
Now, that could be changing. Maybe Texas Tech does have all that cash, but they don't have the brand power that comes with the 10, 20, 30, 40 years of winning.
Right. Yes. And he said that to me. He said, we are ecstatic. And then sure as crap, they win the thing their first year. And they have a remarkable season that goes down as one of the top 10, top whatever seasons. But I still wonder, and I didn't ask him, maybe next time I see him because he's still employed there, he'll probably say, no, we're grateful to be here. And they've hit Texas in recruiting hard, and I think they have the most commitments for kids that are going into their senior year in football. And I think they have like 14, 16, 15, somewhere in there, commitments already. And half of them are from Texas. Yeah. So maybe for them,
the league's got a huge presence there. They got the 4 schools there. You're playing there.
It's not that far away.
Right. And you're already recruiting there, and then you just accelerate it, which we heard the same thing from the local schools here.
And obviously you are 8-10 hours closer to that state from Arizona than you are to Utah. And maybe we'll look back in 10, 15 years. We don't even know what will exist then.
No.
We might look back and say, wow, this was a bonanza for this school and this school. And, well, man, this hurt this school and that school. Who knows?
Well, so many things come together. I mean, partly it's the realignment, but partly it's getting the right coach and local guy, alum. Never underestimate the power of hiring the right people. But maybe circumstances did conspire to tee it up for him a little bit.
I'd say all of the above type of thing too. You have to, you got to hire the right folks, but they've got to take advantage of whatever that situation presents. So they've benefited from that.
So who deserves the choke sign in your world? I was actually going to go to Halliburton. He got off the hook, but he did that choke sign, which is what's prompted all of this, and he thought he'd won the game. And he tied it. If they lose that in overtime, that hits.
Well, that's
that lands
even better.
Really, that lands
I mean,
really
anybody can do
differently.
the choke when the little roller goes through your legs and the winning run scores. No, he called his choke.
That's not what was happening. He thought he'd won the game. Although
Watch me do this.
Isn't that a little bit like the overrated chant? Because the Knicks aren't the only team they've done that to. They've done that now to 4 teams in 4 different series. So put on the other guy. That's your greatness. It's not them gagging.
No, but that's part of the deal, too. That's salt in the wound type thing.
Well, there's no doubt about that. There's that. But it's like,
that's sweeter.
yeah. The fact they've done it 4 times.
I think we should see it more. I want the choke sign more. That's like the ultimate disrespect.
It is.
You are questioning the other person's man or womanhood in the case of Caitlin Clark. Yeah. No, when you have a big lead like that, sure, that's your greatness, but you had to have choked too. I think you can have both.
They've done it 4 times. It says something about them.
Yeah, but the other team wilting. And it remains to be seen. Maybe they choke. And
They get up 3-1, and then Barkley's wrong, and he's been wrong in a few thousand predictions.
And
Oklahoma City
and we
does
have
come
Lou
back.
Dort just slapping the choke sign on those guys.
Lou Dort, your devil, baby.
Alex Caruso. It doesn't seem like that's in SGA's personality. That's why
No, it doesn't.
That's why I didn't go with him.
No, but Caruso's feisty. I can see him doing
Yeah.
it. I don't know about Lou Dort, though.
I don't know. He just came to mind.
Yeah, because he's your son.
Not really. I don't get caught up in that.
Maybe Holmgren?
Chet?
Yeah.
Chet's a wannabe OG, isn't he?
Yeah, see.
Dude, you're from Minnesota. Knock it off.
DJ PK, Pablo Mastroeni, RSL head coach, joins us next. Bob Casper from the U.S. Open at the top of the hour. Stay with us.